Many, many years ago, when I was a child, my mother began to collect family pictures in special frames from each one of our vacations. Now, these were sort of very well done pictures. Every time we would go on a vacation as a family, we would have that family portrait moment. It would have been researched. We would know exactly where we were going to go and exactly how to arrange ourselves, and the picture would be taken. And then the hunt would be on for the right frame from wherever we were that picture could go in once we got back home. Now, when I was younger, I didn't really care about that sort of thing. I was happy to smile, and I played along. But now that I'm older and I go back to my parents' house, I love to go to the living room shelves where all those pictures are, in whatever kind of nice or sometimes eccentric frames that we found wherever we were going, and see how our family changed over time. You know, it was a record of our family, a testament and a witness to who we were then, and even though we've gotten a little older, who we still are at our core. And in a way, our church is sort of like our family, right? A set of memories. If you look all around us, people have left their memories here to guide us and to remind us of what they found most important. Now, I bet many of us remember people here in this church who are no longer with us. Remember things about them, perhaps the pew where they sat, maybe a hymn that they loved or a ministry that they led. You know, our Calvary Church is really one big family made up of lots of little families. We raise each other up and we call each other out. We celebrate one another when we have our victories, and we cry with one another in our sorrows. We are examples for one another, just like all of the people who have come before us were examples to us. Think about the people that have been examples in your life, the people who have shaped you to become the people that you have become. I know that I'm very much like the people who raised me. I have my mother's sense of awareness. I have my father's blind hopefulness. I have my grandmother's steel strength. You know, we are made up of those who came before us and formed us and shaped us. And now who are we to those who will come behind us? You know, when I first began working as a priest in Birmingham, I remember it was one of the first weeks at the church, and a sweet woman came up to me after the service, and she introduced herself, and she said, "Now, who are your people?" And I thought, I've never been asked that before, and my people are back in Florida, you know. Who are your people? That's one of those quintessential Southern questions, right? But even though that question might kind of on the surface seem a little off-putting or harsh, it really is a desire to connect. You know, who are your people? They're really asking, who are you really? Not who you think you are, and not perhaps who you want to be. Who really are you? Because we are all collections of all the people who have come before us. Those connections make up who we are. It makes up our small families, and it makes up this big church family. Our connections bind us. And when people ask who your people are, they're looking to be bound together with you in some very real way. Today we heard a reading from the book of Revelation. Now, Revelation is notoriously a little obtuse. It's a little fantastic, a little imaginative, and for most people it's almost too much so. But Revelation is important, and I've grown to really, really love Revelation because it is not about our past, but it's about our future. It's not the Alpha story, it's the Omega story. It is the destination, the place where we are going. And I didn't appreciate Revelation as much as when I came to Calvary, because we see images from Revelation every time we look at our altar. The reredos behind our altar, there's a good churchy word. The reredos is the wooden screen, the wall behind our altar. It's full of Revelation images. We get the Lamb triumphant over the four rivers of the new creation with the herald angels singing God's praise. We see that Omega story, that destination story, every time we come to Calvary Church. Because there's one amazing thing about Revelation. Although there are lots of images, lots of things you can interpret from it, what I take away, which is most important for a day like today, on All Saints' Day, is that Revelation reminds us that heaven comes to us. Here in this place, heaven comes to us. We are reminded every time we see our altar that all we have to do is come forward and take what God is offering freely to us. It is here in this place where we connect with one another and where our lives meet all the lives that have come between us. God's deep, deep truth meets us here, and we are connected in such a more profound way than we can even imagine. You know, our spiritual journeys begin with that alpha moment, the moment we know that we sense Christ in others. Whether we know it or not, we see the face of Christ in someone or something, and we know that it is true. For many of us, it begins at baptism, where we are washed and we are cleansed and where we meet God in a very special sacramental way, and we will celebrate and welcome Lena into our life together later on in the service. But that journey only begins then, and we grow all through our lives. And we have the models of everyone that has come before us to help guide us to the destination where we literally meet God here. If we look around this church stands to honor the legacy of those who came before us, who left us this, to remind us of what is most important. And now we have inherited that legacy, and it is up to us to live into that legacy and to leave something equally important, a map, a guide, stories, history for those who will come after us, those who will take our leadership, our example, our discipleship, and meet God here after we are gone. Because we have chosen our destination, because we know where our story is going, we meet God right here every Sunday. And today, we look back in our history and remember everyone who has come before us and shaped us for who we are, and we look forward to see those same saints who came before us preparing the way for our future, waiting to welcome us with open arms, and waiting to join us in that heavenly choir where John says we will finally sing amen, blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be to our God forever and ever. And we will all say, amen. Happy All Saints' Day.